The three sacred objects Jesus revealed that archons cannot approach. There is a reason ancient traditions spoke of matter as sacred, not merely as substance, but as reflection of deeper order that existed before the visible world took shape. According to the Gnostic perspective, physical reality is not rejected, but reinterpreted as a symbolic language capable of revealing principles hidden beneath ordinary perception. Some materials were believed to carry resonance aligned with remembrance, not because of superstition, but because symbolic meaning allowed consciousness to perceive continuity beneath change. Jesus communicated through layered expression, allowing truth to remain visible to those willing to look beyond surface interpretation. Salt, iron, and frankincense were never random elements, but recurring symbols connected to stability, purification, and elevation of awareness. These materials appeared across ancient cultures as reminders of an authority not dependent on external systems of control. When their meaning is remembered, perception begins to shift, and what once seemed ordinary begins to reveal depth that was always present. In the Gnostic tradition, the visible world is understood as a reflection of principles that precede form, suggesting that matter itself can serve as a symbolic gateway rather than an obstacle. Jesus often spoke through images drawn from everyday life, preserving truth within language that required contemplation rather than immediate reaction. Salty became associated with incorruptibility and continuity, representing essence that does not decay even as circumstances change. Iron, known for strength and resilience, symbolized inner stability, capable of resisting fragmentation and confusion. Frankincense, rising as fragrant smoke, reflected the ascent of awareness beyond limitation, pointing toward perception not restricted to material interpretation. Within this framework, the archon matrix is described as operating through distraction and forgetfulness, encouraging identification only with what is temporary. When interpretation becomes contemplative rather than literal, familiar elements begin to reveal deeper coherence. Meaning unfolds gradually as perception becomes receptive to symbolic continuity present throughout tradition. Gnostic writings describe awakening not as acquisition of something new, but as remembrance of what has always existed beyond distortion. Jesus pointed toward recognition arising within, rather than dependence on external authority alone. Salt, iron, and frankincense appear as symbolic bridges between visible reality and invisible origin, suggesting continuity rather than separation. The archon matrix is portrayed as reinforcing fragmentation, encouraging perception confined to surface appearance. When symbolic understanding deepens, apparent divisions begin to lose intensity, allowing awareness to recognize patterns that remain constant across time. The material world, within this perspective, becomes a language pointing beyond itself, inviting reflection rather than reaction. Meaning does not impose itself suddenly, but reveals itself progressively as attention becomes steady. Gnostic wisdom presents clarity as alignment with what remains unchanged beneath transformation. Through contemplation, what once appeared ordinary becomes capable of expressing deeper significance. Within Gnostic interpretation, the message attributed to Jesus emphasizes inner authority guided by recognition rather than imposed belief. The symbolic presence of matter serves as a reminder that understanding develops through observation aligned with continuity preserved across ancient traditions. Salt, iron, and frankincense reflect archetypal patterns repeated throughout human history, suggesting that symbolic language has always served as bridge between visible and invisible dimensions. Across time, the archon matrix is described as sustaining itself through distraction, preventing sustained reflection on deeper questions that reveal unity beneath complexity. When attention becomes stable, coherence begins to emerge, where fragmentation once appeared dominant. The teachings suggest that perception itself participates in shaping interpretation, influencing how reality is experienced. Gnostic tradition describes awakening as gradual recognition of unity underlying diversity. Through this lens, even simple elements participate in a narrative pointing toward origin, continuity, and remembrance present across time. Gnostic tradition often presents knowledge as illumination emerging from recognition rather than accumulation of external information. Jesus pointed toward awareness, capable of perceiving stability beneath constant change, encouraging contemplation rather than reaction. Salt, iron, and frankincense symbolize continuity between the tangible and the symbolic dimensions of existence, suggesting that meaning can be perceived through attentive observation. The archon matrix is portrayed as reinforcing identification with what constantly shifts, drawing attention away from patterns that endure. When awareness begins to recognize stability across time, perception reorganizes naturally without force. Symbolic interpretation of matter invites reflection on how meaning has always been encoded within experience itself. Gnostic teachings suggest that understanding unfolds progressively as awareness becomes receptive to continuity rather than fragmentation. The journey described within this tradition emphasizes remembrance of what has always been present beneath changing forms. The symbolic language preserved within Gnostic tradition presents reality as layered with meaning beyond immediate appearance. Jesus emphasized recognition of continuity beneath transformation, encouraging perception aligned with what remains constant. Salt, iron, and frankincense appear as reminders that interpretation influences experience, shaping how reality is understood. The archon matrix is described as operating through distraction from deeper reflection, maintaining attention on surfaces rather than origins. Awareness expands as perception becomes receptive to patterns underlying experience itself. Gnostic teachings suggest that meaning unfolds through contemplation, revealing coherence where separation once appeared dominant. If this teaching resonated with you, the beginning of this path is available through the guide prepared to support deeper exploration of these symbolic principles. The link is available in the pinned comment for those who feel called to continue this journey of remembrance. Now remain present, allowing the symbolic understanding explored here to gently settle within awareness. Prepare yourself to receive the vibrational dimension of this teaching. In a moment, the mantra inspired by these sacred symbolic principles will begin. Allow the sound to guide contemplation beyond words, integrating the meaning of salt, iron, and frankincense as reminders of continuity, stability, and elevation of perception. Let the mantra conclude this experience as a bridge between understanding and inner recognition.
In the hidden text, he revealed three things, three materials of earth that archons fear: salt, iron, frankincense. Tonight you choose. They buried the teaching in Hammadi's sand, three sacred objects in the Savior's hand. Not symbols or stories, but frequency and stone, protection for the chosen walking home alone. The archons feel what they cannot control, materials that shield the awakening soul. Jesus spoke the words in Aramaic tongue, the war for liberation has begun. The salt of the sea, Parzela Kaddish, the iron sets me free. Lebon Takadish, the frankincense smoke, three sacred objects in the prison broke. Carry one tonight, the chosen will know which frequency calls where your spirit must go. Salt, iron, frankincense, the Trinity shield. Against the archons we shall not yield. Salt absorbs the thoughts they broadcast in, white crystals holding where the darkness has been left. Pocket near your heart, replace it with the moon. The mental chains are breaking, liberation coming soon. Iron magnetized in your right hand, strong, blocking etheric chords where they don't belong. Stand before me, let all evil flee. The warrior's protection, sovereign and free. Tonight, let the testing begin. Feel the shift in frequency deep within. Salt, iron, frankincense, the ancient way. Jesus taught the chosen what to carry today. They told you it was metaphor, just symbols in a book, but Jesus gave us physics if we'd only look. Quantum fields and frequency, materials and light. Take the object meant for you and carry it tonight. The gospel of Philip, the pistis Sophia, hidden knowledge burning like a fire. Orthodox suppressed, what makes a sovereign strong? But the Gnostic truth survived 2,000 years long. Frankincense elevates to the higher plane. Jesus, I'm the chosen, we shall break